And grateful as always to welcome back Will Caywood of the Fehrman Investment Group, always here to give us great not only investment advice, but advice on how to handle money in general. Will, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brad.
All right, I have questions for you, but I just want to start off with 20,000. What a week for the Dow. Is this just wonderful news all the way around?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much smiles all around the office. I think when clients open their statements this month, they'll be a little bit happier. It's a psychological thing. I mean, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just a number along the way. But really, I think it helps people to kind of feel good about things. I think some of the optimism is wearing off, and the projected policies that are coming down the road are looking pretty good.
Well, when people do open those statements and do start to think about their money, the beginning of the year is a time when we sometimes revisit or start a family budget.
Sure.
And so I want to talk about budgets today. They can be a sensitive subject in families. Spouses can actually argue over these things called budgets. And so I just guess we should probably start with your definition of a budget. Is it something official that has to be written down? You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just a plan on how you spend your money. I mean, you take account of how much money you got coming in and where you're spending those dollars. You talked about marriages. I mean, people squabble over a lot of stuff, but money's really usually at the heart of it. Budgets, I think, need to be written down. They either need to be written down or some kind of tracking mechanism, whether it's a spreadsheet or however you choose to do it. It's not that important. It's just that you have a plan in place. Budgets are important. If you're not in debt now, it helps you stay out of debt. If you are in debt, it helps you get out of debt. So really with our business, whether you have millions of dollars or whether you're just getting started, I talk about a budget with our clients every meeting that we have to make sure that they're not spending more than they're bringing in.
What about the steps involved in getting this whole process started? Because I know people watching want to do it. Tell me what it takes to set it up.
Yeah, it's fairly simple. I mean, some people like to do it on their own. Other people like to work with people on it. So it just kind of depends on your preference. But it's as simple as writing down all the money you have coming in and writing down where that money is going to. And being realistic with those numbers. If you're in sales or have a commission job, don't reach for the stars with it. Be realistic with it. The biggest thing I think is separating your needs and your wants.
Yeah, that's huge.
So whether or not you don't need that 11th pair of jeans. You have 10 other pairs of jeans in your closet, but really separating that and making those tough decisions. That's why the arguments with spouses occur sometimes, is because to some people it's a want, to other people it's a need.
I've heard about this, but I don't really know anything about it. Reverse budgeting. Please explain that.
Yeah. It sounds complex, but it's actually fairly simple. It's basically you saving money first. And so when you get your paycheck on the first of the month, you automatically put that aside, put it into your savings account, your money market account, however you have it set up. And then whatever's left over, that's what you spend for the month. So what a lot of people do is they get their paycheck, they pay all their bills, they go and do whatever they want. If anything's left over at the end of the month, then that's what you save for the month. If you're like me at my house, there's not much left over at the end of the month if you do it that way. So it's important to kind of set that money aside first, and that's basically what reverse budgeting is.
Well, when you're taking a look at the steps to set up a reverse budget, just as you reviewed the steps to set up a regular budget, would you be a supporter or an advocate of an electronic means of doing that, where that amount you mentioned is sucked out of that check so you never see it and it goes into savings?
That's exactly what I'd recommend with it, whether it's on payroll deduction or whether when it gets to your account it goes straight over to the bank. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Well, reverse budgets sound like a great idea. Now this 50, 30, 20 budget.
Yeah.
Please explain 50, 30, 20 and how it can help all of us.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. The 50, 30, 20 budget, it's fairly simple, and I like simple, especially when it comes to numbers and math. Basically what it is 50% of your income that you bring home should be spent on your needs, your necessities. That's your house, your rent, your car, utilities, food, basically things that you have to survive. 50% of your take-home pay should be spent in that category. 30% of it should be what I like to call kind of your lifestyle bucket, or how you choose to spend that money, whether that's on pets or your hobbies, or if you like to go on vacations or eat out or go to the movies. 30% of no more than 30% of your take-home pay should be spent in that category. And then finally, 20% should be go towards savings, long-term retirement planning, or to pay down debt. So that's kind of how the 50, 30, 20 budget works.
All right, at this point, your ideas are great, and I'm thinking to put them into practice, it's probably a good idea to come see you. So I walk into the Fehrman Investment Group, and we sit down. Kind of walk me through the guidelines that you recommend when you're setting up somebody's budget, because we don't know how or where we should spend the money.
No, it's right, and it's what makes my job enjoyable, because each person's situation is unique. I mean, everybody, there's no cookie cutter. Everybody should do this or that. Some people live in different neighborhoods where there's higher cost of living. Some people give to church more. Other people are in more debt. So it just kind of depends on your situation. But general rule of thumb, no more than about 30 to 35% of your take-home pay should be spent on housing, whether that's a mortgage or rent. Transportation or your car payment shouldn't be more than about 10 to 15%. Utilities, food, about 10% or so. So, you know, that's why I like the 50-30 budget, because with the 50-30 budget, it's really 3 categories. I've seen it broken down into 15 or 20 different ones, and it can get very complex. So it just kind of depends on what your situation is, but we can help people of all shapes and sizes.
All right, let's go back to that example you gave when you were talking about a commission-based type job. How would one even budget when the income is fluctuating like that? It seems like it would be an exercise in futility. One month you're great, the next month though it all changes.
It's very difficult. I mean, that's one of the hardest things is when you get a salary, when you have a predictable income, it's fairly easy to budget. When it's fluctuating every month, where you don't know from month to month what your income's going to be, it makes it much more difficult. There's a lot of different ways to tackle the problem, but you know, with a budget, it kind of works with a lot of constants. You know, you have 20% here and 30% here. Well, with self-employment, you have a lot of variables, so there's a lot of ups and downs with it. Ideally, you have 3 to 6 months of expenses. Everybody should have that set aside in a savings account. I like to recommend for self-employed people or commission-based jobs to have even more than that if possible, just because being a self-employed person is already hard enough, because you have the roller coaster ride of your income, but worrying about the money piece of it is doubly hard. So having more than 3 to 6 months is ideal. Knowing kind of your baseline or your bare bones budget, I think, is very important. So that kind of goes back to the 50% deal.
Right.
You know, what you need to survive. You know, if maybe you can't go play golf or go to Disney World this year, but you know, having that 50% set aside is important, knowing that number, and then paying yourself, kind of like the reverse budgeting strategy as well. Pay yourself a salary, and that should be your baseline budget, your 50%. Pay yourself at the beginning of every month, and then know you have the cushion of the 3 to 6 months of expenses behind you.
What tools can you tell us about that are available to our viewers to do everything that you've talked about? Because the ideas are great. What's out there to help us?
There's a lot of tools. I mean, when you think about budgeting, it usually takes me to people like myself, financial advisors. It takes me to accountants, CPAs, people like that. So those 2 people are kind of the most closely related to the budgeting process. But a lot of people like to do it themselves. I mean, and some people do better with working with people. Other people like to do it themselves, kind of like working out.
Right.
You know, some of my personal trainers, other people can do it on their own. I would need the motivation personally, but it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Just have a plan. There's Dave Ramsey's everydollar.com is an excellent website. Mint.com. There's several free online tools that you can use if you're a do-it-yourselfer. If not, that's what we're here for.
Will, have you ever had to tell somebody that you're out of money on the 15th and you're not going to do a single thing for the next 2 weeks till your next check comes?
Yes. Well, I've never said it quite like that. I like to call it the month of austerity, where you just kind of, there's no spending involved for the rest of the month. You're going to eat beans and rice and sit at home for the rest of the month.
Because I've walked in the door and said, there can be no more spending.
That's right.
You know, and I'm sure that statement has been repeated in households everywhere, but sometimes you get to that.
And I think that's why a budget is so important, because it makes that, you know, that rift between you and your spouse difficult, whereas it's not meant to be a bad thing necessarily. I mean, to have a budget, to have a plan for your money, it kind of brings you closer together, because you're working on, as a team, working together to achieve a goal, and I think that's powerful if you do it the right way.
I agree, and there is a lot of celebration when you stick to it.
There is, absolutely.
Will, thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Will Caywood, the Fehrman Investment Group. Go see Will and Jeff and get your budget set up. Their office is on Professional Parkway. It's a great facility. You can also call them 706-922-3590 and go to FehrmanInvestmentGroup.com right now just to get the ball rolling.